Hello again, friends. Welcome back. My name is Oscar Montesiga. We are at the Booze Library. I'm your host here at the Uncorked Vintage Academia, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you Janiece.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Janiece is a mixologist by former trade, and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself further so that the audience can get to know you.
Yeah, I'm Janiece. I was bartending for quite some time in San Francisco, California. Multiple locations, but most notably at the bar called Alembic in Upper Haight. It was one of the first cocktail bars of its kind in the modern world of San Francisco. Great food, great cocktails, and I was able to work under the late Daniel Hyatt, who is an amazing mixologist, amazing friend, and mentor to me as well. And yeah, I'm happy to be here with you. This is great.
So I'm bringing you along to, what are we making today?
Today, we're going to make something that is, it's an original old Savoy cocktail, but this was something that was on the Alembic menu for a very long time and was a consistent item on the menu. So this is kind of an ode to Daniel. It's called the Blood and Sand, and it's one of my favorites.
Blood and Sand. So the Blood and Sand is a contemporary cocktail after the 1920s, when in 1922 there was a film named Blood and Sand, where Rudolph Valentino appeared, and that film was based out of an original Spanish novel called Sangre y Arena, and somebody got inspired and they made a cocktail. And I think partially the name not only is a tribute to bullfighting, with the blood theme, basically.
Yeah.
Bullfighting was the theme of the movie and the novel, but you have, with the ingredients that we're going to play with, really bloody looking colored ingredients, but also I think once you see the technique of shaking, that shake forms a foam on top that looks like sand.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
And also, don't miss, obviously, what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take the concept of blood and sand and make a completely new cocktail that's new for everybody, because I just made it up. So
I haven't even tasted it
yet. What do you think? All right, let's get started.
Okay, cool.
What do we need?
So this cocktail consists of 4 components. It is made in different ways, but originally you're going to be doing 3/4 ounce of each ingredient. 2 of these ingredients will resemble blood, and 2 will be your lighter colors: Scotch, orange juice, sand. So we have Carpano Classico, sweet vermouth, cherry herring. Right here we have a Speyburn single malt whiskey, and then we're gonna fresh squeeze some orange juice, and all of that is put together in your shaker, and then you're gonna shake it up and double strain, and we'll finish it off with some pretty heavy metal looking garnish. We're gonna have some flame orange peel, so I can go ahead and start making that.
Absolutely.
If you'd like. So what we're gonna do is pour all of these ingredients into the same jigger, because it doesn't matter, they're all gonna be mixed together anyways. So we got,
and we're using 3/4 of an ounce for every one of these
every single
ingredients. It's an easy recipe to remember.
It is, and this is all stuff that's pretty accessible at local, your local liquor stores that carry liquors, not just corner stores. But yeah, it's pretty easy. Don't need too many tools to make this. So we got all these 3. Oscar here is gonna zest and juice some fresh orange juice.
Yeah, there is no substitute for fresh juice.
Tastes much better. Don't use the store-bought stuff. You also will get a little bit too much sweetness, and this fresh orange juice actually has obviously a good amount of citrus acidity, which will cut through a lot of this really syrupy, nice liqueur. Generally, I like to use the Punta Mez sweet vermouth. I don't think it was accessible for us here. But the cool thing about Punta Mez sweet vermouth is that it actually has a little bit of an essence of orange in it. So if you can find that, it's really good. I'm gonna try that.
I think we may have enough juice.
Hell yeah. Alright, let's do it. Alright. So we'll get some of this juice in there.
So same juice for your mimosas. Don't skip on your fresh juice mimosas, because you're just going to ruin that sparkling wine if you're using quality sparkling wine. Otherwise, what's the point?
Exactly. Or just drink it straight. We got some ice that was already put into this mixer. Let's shake it together pretty good. If you're not a regular bartender, sometimes these are a little difficult to use. They can get like sucked together. Usually you can just give it a little slam and it'll work, but if you're a little skittish when it comes to banging on things, you can go ahead and use the other side. But actually, I'm going to double strain this just because there is fresh juice and some of that pulp is going to be in it. So double straining is really good. And also, you don't want to have a lot of ice chips in this cocktail. It helps it be a little bit more smooth and easier to enjoy. There we go. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is a light beige foam on top. Yeah. That's, you know, reminiscent of that. And here's for one of my favorite parts of making this cocktail. We're going to go ahead and take one of the, you know, edges or fatter pieces of your orange and maybe make like a little circle here with the paring knife. And this is a really good way to zest something or use the oils rather and flame them. It's okay to use a regular peeler, but you're going to get more of that
projectile. Yeah, I can see that.
So you're going to grab your edge, give it a little bit of a scorch, and then there you go.
Beautiful.
That's the blood and sand, y'all.
Blood and sand.
It's delicious.
Should we taste it?
Hell yeah. I'll let you taste it first.
This is my first time. I've never tried it. Ooh, I like that.
It's very good.
You can't beat malt and cherry. I mean, that's a great combination. I would say if you don't have this cherry liqueur and you have an alternative, don't make this cocktail as it is. I mean, I think Heering is really a proprietary cocktail a liqueur that there's no substitute. So definitely invest in that particular cherry liqueur.
Definitely. I would definitely say that.
It's delicious. I'm going to make it more often.
Yeah, you should. I'm going to drink these more often now.
Perfect. So what I'm going to bring you next is a twist on blood and sand.
Oh, really? What are you going to make?
I'm going to make something using the same principles, but with a twist. So I'm going to use Poitín, which is an Irish barley spirit. Basically a white whiskey from Ireland.
Is it kind of like a moonshine, I guess you could say?
It is kind of like the Irish moonshine, but we don't want to call it that. Poitín is really what it's supposed to be, and that is, I'm using Glendalough, one of the most delicious Poitíns. But first, into my shaker, I have 3/4 ounce of white vermouth, and I'm using Dolin white vermouth from Chambéry. Which is really one of the premier French vermouth, and this is not quite dried. This is kind of off dry, very floral and alpine, botanical in spirit. Then 3/4 ounce of Poitín. I like the sound of that. And lastly, I'm gonna use a white cherry liqueur, and this is made by Luxardo, Maraschino cherry producer.
Delicious.
3/4 ounce of that. Again, this also has some alpine influence, so I'm marrying the vermouth with the Luxardo. I have half a lime, which is really what it's going to take to make 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice.
Nice. This sounds pretty refreshing.
And into the shaker they will go. So there you go. I have my wet ingredients. Putting some ice in there. I'm also going to serve mine with chilled coup. You want to get these aggressively cold because you're going to serve it without ice. So you want to keep it as cold as you can for as long as you can. So you have garnish potentials here. You could do a zest of a lemon that you just used. Since we have Luxardo Maraschino Liqueur, you could cherry flag it and do a cherry flag. But instead today, in honor of my spirit, I'm gonna use a clover leaf. Or actually a clover.
How cute.
There you go. Give it an Irish essence.
That's awesome.
And this is for you and your pleasure. Cheers and snow.
Hey, 2 new firsts today, right?
I want to hear your thoughts.
That is delicious.
Super.
That's very, very good.
It's refreshing. And I think what's important, you can taste the barley, but there's an alpine green, small cherry influence. I don't think it's as cherry driven as the Heering, but...
You know, it tastes like a really mature bee's knees. I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but that's also a Savoy cocktail, and it's very reminiscent of that, and it's delicious. And yeah, very, very herbal. It's great.
Nice.
Thanks.
I would suggest pairing this with a caprese salad, or really maybe some sashimi, some sushi, some ceviche. What would you pair with the blood and sand?
You know, anything, but really, this pairs really well with duck.
You mentioned duck, yeah.
Yeah, it pairs really well with duck, and other really like fattier, richer foods like a bone marrow, something like that. Yeah. It's really delicious, and yeah, I feel like you can pair these cocktails with most things, but...
And they're all right, they're aperitif cocktails, you can have them before dinner, but we're going to play around with some food later, and I'm going to pair the blood and sand with Scottish salmon.
Yeah! I love that.
Yeah, so you have, again, something, component wines you mentioned, something fatty, and salmon definitely has plenty of that little fat. Yeah. But I'm doing a salmon that has also some Scotch intermingling there, so I'm bridging the flavor of the Scotch from the cocktail into the food as well.
That's brilliant.
There you have it. So cheers.
Well, cheers.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime. Cheers.
Cheers.
And you guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for your next cocktail or spirit evaluation. Hit subscribe and like. I don't know if you want to throw in your Instagram handles or anything like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm actually also a painter, an artist, and a musician. Wow. Yeah.
We all have many trades, yeah.
Yeah, my artist profile is Far Out Finishing, and just go check it out. You can follow that, and also check out War Cloud and Wild Eyes on Spotify.
There you go. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you for
next time.
Here.